Hey everyone, I'm Gavin and welcome back to MyXP. Today I'd like to talk to you about Final Fantasy VII, game that pretty much nobody really remembers or even talks about this day and age. That's a joke. Final Fantasy VII is the legendary RPG that pretty much everybody loves and was clamoring for a remake for years until we eventually got the announcement, and it comes out now in March of 2020, so good on us. But Final Fantasy VII for me, the original for PlayStation 1, I remember when I first saw a lot of like postings for it in magazines and whatnot, just thinking to myself like, wow, this looks so different from the Final Fantasy games that I had played at that time. And not really knowing what to expect from it. It looks so futuristic, and I remember the still images of like Cloud outside the reactor with the Buster Sword on his back, and just kind of being like, whoa, this looks so different, and not as like medieval or, like I said, the previous Final Fantasies that I played. And then I remember, like, it came out on the Sony PlayStation, and I didn't own a PlayStation at the time. And I remember begging my parents, can we please get a PlayStation? I want to try this game. And they were always like, no, it's too expensive. We'll wait until the price goes down or whatnot. You got your Super Nintendo. You should be good with that for a bit. And then I used to go to this rental store in my town pretty frequent, and whenever I got to the store one day, it was the whole Sony PlayStation line that they had there, and they had a copy of Final Fantasy VII, and they also used to rent it, the PlayStation itself. So I remember rushing home and like begging my parents, like, please, can I please rent this? I'll do anything, please. And they're like, well, you've been doing good in school. So, sure, we'll rent it out for a weekend, you can try it out. And I remember, I rented Final Fantasy VII on PlayStation, and I stayed up that entire evening and all night, right up until like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, just playing. And I was just outside of like Jinan Harbor or whatnot, and I don't even know what I was doing. I was probably just like grinding enemies or something, trying to level up. But I remember getting to that point, and then my parents getting up or whatnot, and they're like, oh, you're still playing the game, like, come downstairs for breakfast, and, we're going to end up, like, having to turn off the game because we got to go soon. And I was like, I can't turn off the game, I don't have a memory card, I have to save the game. And they're like, well, how much is a memory card? And I go downtown or whatnot, look at Walmart, like, no, it's too expensive, I can't buy it. I'm like, no. So I ended up having to, like, turn off the game. I lost all my progress, and it was super discouraging. But little did I know that, my parents noticed how, like, passionate I was about the game, and they're like, well, we're gonna end up, like, buying this for him for Christmas or whatnot, and I didn't know any different. So Christmas rolled around, and then all of a sudden, we see this big present underneath the tree, and I was like, I wonder what that is, and we opened it up, and I was like, oh, no way, PlayStation. And then I opened up the next one, it's like Final Fantasy VII, and I was like, yes, perfect. It's like one of those, like, Christmas memories where, the child gets exactly what they want. They're just like, yes, it's the best Christmas ever. But I got Final Fantasy VII, and I remember like playing it countless hours, and just trying to figure out every little secret or to get every piece of gear, every treasure in the game, explore all areas, and trying to do things that were rumored online, like getting Zack in your party or something, right? Just a lot of stuff that wasn't actually in the game, but you were so obsessed with the game and so invested in it that you would try to do all these like rumors, and lo and behold, like none of it was actually possible. But it is what it is. It's one of those games that I think everybody can kind of agree that it's legendary for a reason. It's got everything that an RPG and a game should have in it. Countless different mini games, and there's so much attention to detail in the entire atmosphere, and all the levels are beautifully designed. The characters were revolutionary for the time. The graphics, it was just like the jump from 16-bit to polygonal characters and pre-rendered backgrounds is just mind-blowing, right? I can remember the Switch myself and just being like, wow, like Super Nintendo looks like trash compared to this. And we had to have the PlayStation, so I was super glad that we got it for Christmas. And Final Fantasy VII, like I said, was my first game for it. I think my dad had got like Gran Turismo or something, so we would always be like in competition of who would get the PlayStation or whatnot. And whenever he would want to play Gran Turismo or whatever, like go outside. And you know, it was very fun memories for me, like of my teenage years, I guess, and just gushing about the game to my friends, and they would have to like go out and rent it or whatnot because they didn't own a copy. And one of my friends in particular, Wayne, I remember telling him about the game, and he was kind of skeptical. He's like, I don't know if it's as good as what you say it is, and he ended up going to rent it from the same rental store that I initially rented the game from. And I remember, like, it was on a Friday evening or something, and he's like trying to decide what game he was going to rent, and he eventually ended up picking up Final Fantasy VII. Sunday rolled around or whatnot, and I ended up getting a phone call, and it was Wayne, and he's like, yeah, drop down. And he's like, I picked up that Final Fantasy VII game. He said, you were right, it's pretty good. So I ended up going down to his house, and he's just like laying in his bed. It looks like he's mummified with the controller in his hand. He's like, yeah, I haven't slept. He was just like grinding and like, again, doing the same thing I was doing, right? Like trying to find every secret, and he was trying to optimize like all those like materia configurations and stuff. I remember he eventually ended up picking up like a Brady Games guide and following that like it was like a Bible or whatnot, but he just became completely obsessed with the game as well. And I had another friend, Shane, and he ended up picking up Final Fantasy. Also, him and Wayne used to always have competitions about like who could level up the most in the first reactor. And I think like they were in a competition, and then, you know, one of them would be like, oh yeah, I just got level 25 in the first reactor, and then the other one would be like, oh, you're 25, like, oh, I gotta get level 30. And they would keep having a competition until I think one of them eventually hit level 50 in the first reactor before they even went to defeat the Guard Scorpion at first. And I can remember them just having like arguments over the years that, oh, you're getting your brother to play the game and he's grinding out levels for you and you're not actually doing it yourself. And there's just like so much salt being thrown around between the two of them. But it was just like one of those funny things that for Final Fantasy VII, you know, you wouldn't expect a competition like that to happen, but again, that's just part of like my history with the game, and you know, like the impact it's had on not only my life but like my friends as well. So Final Fantasy VII, it was a game changer. Like there was full cinematic videos, and after that, like every other game that I can remember started like having CGI cutscenes and stuff like that, and it was just something that completely shaped how games are made even today. So apart from Final Fantasy VII, the PlayStation 1 release, it got ported to like, you know, a bunch of different consoles or whatnot, and I ended up picking up on PlayStation 4, which, you know, that's the footage that you're seeing here. Again, I remember like as soon as I got it, I was like, okay, platinum trophy, no problem. So I just went through the game and I spent like a couple of weeks or whatnot just getting everything. Super fun game. And then back to the remake. I know when the remake got announced, I remember just jumping off the couch and being like, no way, like Final Fantasy VII, I can't believe they're actually remaking, they're finally doing it. Because I was one of the people that actually seen the very first like E3 technical demo that they were doing to demonstrate like, you know, the PS3's performance or whatnot, and seeing Cloud jump off the train in that, and I was like, oh my god, they have to remake the game, they have to like, you know, remaster it with like updated graphics. Not realizing that, you know, they were also going to end up changing the turn-based combat to action combat and stuff. And honestly, like I know a lot of people are kind of like partial on that, and they're skeptical of whether or not action combat's going to actually work with the game. But I'm staying optimistic. I really hope that it turns out as good as everybody's saying it's going to be. And the people that just recently played at E3 doing the live demo have stated that the game's fantastic. So gonna hold on to that, and hopefully they end up releasing a demo on the PSN or something soon, because I would love to get my hands on that game. Can't wait for it. The remake as well, like I know that it's just gonna be Midgar for the first game, and I know Midgar is gonna be over the course of 2 discs, so they're adding in a lot of stuff and changing story elements, and you know, really going in depth with the characters and their backstories and whatnot, and I can appreciate that because that game deserves as much love as it's going to get. Again, you know, the turn-based combat, I wouldn't mind if they would have kept it, but I understand what they're going for, and they want to modernize it. They want to make it more appealing to a more broad audience, right? So, hopefully, when that game comes out, it'll be as amazing as it's supposed to be, and I can't wait for March. March cannot come soon enough. Hopefully, I'll be able to cover this on the channel as well, and yeah, that's the gist of my story with Final Fantasy VII, which is going to be continuing in March. So, thanks again for watching, guys. Appreciate it. Next time, I'll be talking about Final Fantasy VIII, another game that I love. Surprise, surprise. Thanks again for watching, guys, and if you like it, please like. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. See you later.